Standing in Arbory, Castletown and Malew, we've got Steve Crowther here.
Thank you, Paul.
Second attempt at this one, right? You were very close last time.
Yeah, I was close, and interestingly, obviously my reasons for standing originally were, there was a little bit running in the town with regard to development at the centre, and that sort of really introduced me to the political side, and I just saw the legacy that was left. Richard Ronan stood down, and that was something that I saw that I wanted to continue. 1% short, never mind.
Was that close?
Yeah.
So, I mean, obviously, coming back is interesting because, you feel you've still got something to deliver on this. Can
I just emphasise on that, Paul? I think my concern is that, and the reason for pushing on right now, is that I just think we've squandered some of that legacy. We had a new school, which was in the Pink Book, which is now in chaos. We had a potential for a new technology park, and that really was a real chance for new high-level skills in the constituency, because people are driving off to Douglas and Port Erin, and we need more of those real skilled jobs in the community.
This school thing, what's your issue? I mean, I hear they want to build a box, but they want something more fancy, and there's a fight between Treasury and Moray in this.
Well, that was raised last night. Interestingly, Paul, I think we've had sort of 3 hustings now over the last week, and things are accelerating regarding the election campaign. It's become quite apparent that I was sat in a parents' evening literally 3 years ago. And certainly the Minister of Education then, Graham, told us that the project would be around 45 million. And what's become apparent now is we're up to 60 to 70 million. I think I'm giving you the next 3 years social media questions. It's gone into chaos, and we've discussed in the last few days. What's become apparent is it could be up to 5 to 7 years before delivery, and for our young children at the moment who've just come through this current COVID period, I think this is traumatic. I think it's
any other issues, local issues.
I think and they all ride together, don't they? Because a new school, and also integrated into this problem is a southern swimming pool. What was realised last night is that there could be nothing. The current pool at the school has real problems with, the facility itself, the building infrastructure, and the boiler. I mean, they're ready to go at some point. So we could actually be left travelling to the NSC just to go for a swim. So, look, these are real big issues, and, I personally believe that my sort of, architecture and infrastructure skills are really key here to going forward.
And housing, I mean, I've interviewed you with the other hat on about that passive housing, and that's all is that right terminology for you?
But no, you're quite right.
This is of interest to you?
Thank you so much. I think that was a great introduction, and it's led to, let's just describe the project. It's a new eco-house hybrid concept, and what I can see right now is that this is actually delivered. We have the real potential for first-time buyers formula to going forward, probably within the region of about 180k.
And this is coming up with everybody, isn't it? The first time buyers situation.
Absolutely.
So you see a way out of this, though?
This is an eco solution across the board, ticks the box, but it also ticks the box with the right, MHKs and national legislators, and we've got the real potential here to introduce something for first time buyers that, around the 180k mark. And I think that's really exciting across the island.
And back to these other projects, I mean, they've all got to be paid for and those sort of things, and you see these keep going up and up and up. I mean, are you worried about putting these things forward and seeing the way it's going to be paid for?
Well, let's have a look at, we could have a look at, I mean, the other project, by the way, that was critical to the constituency was housing, which is all sort of, we mentioned yesterday, seems to have, just passed away, disappeared. We've all, I know there are 2 projects, but there's no first time buyer housing in it. And then we've also got, which is a real problem for social housing, we've also got this issue that we've got an airport, and it's always been seen a little bit as a bus ride into Douglas, a taxi. And we need to use it much more. It offers so much more, and it could deliver so much more for the national economy. Right. And it's that, breadth of vision, that strategic long-term vision that's crucial. But I would like to introduce, based on the achievements with the Eco House, a new climate change technology research park directly opposite the park. Oh. You're probably aware of the ATG, right, which was the Gateway Technology, Airport Technology Gateway, okay, and I'd like to adapt some of that now.
So you're ticking all these boxes which come up.
Yeah. You mentioned about finance, Paul, and the critical thing for me is that I feel that government have been a bit possessive, and really the opportunity is to work joint venture. You know, we've got a real problem with our airport at the moment. Don't think many have talked about it. I don't know, the frontage isn't looking too good after some of the refurbishment, you know, an adaptation for COVID, but also cargo handling. This is another area critical to our national economy. And roads, that's another critical issue within our constituency.
Your skill set, where do you see it fitting most inside, if you became an MHK, inside government?
Yeah. Well, I see going forward, one of the key aspects, obviously I've pushed really hard at the moment on the environmental front, but and affordability was the key word. But I think going forward, one of the key ways is to attract the right investment. You know, Paul, we have the high net worth individuals on the island. And it's not just inward investment, but they will not invest until we present a government that looks joined up, you know, that looks as if it's presentable and it knows where its long-term vision.
And you think you can help that on its way?
Sorry, Paul, I'm interrupting.
No, not at all.
No, I know it's quickly, but shorter time. The biosphere is one of the key examples of where we can integrate our long-term vision and show that integrity. It's an automatic, accreditation. You know, it's seen internationally, and that's the sort of thing.
Where would you want to be if you got in? And would you work within government, or you want to be a backbencher? But if you did work in government, where?
I just feel at the moment we're it's a national legislator, and I want to be at the core of government. I think those international skills architecturally, you know, Hong Kong, Thailand, China, bring us something really important to the table.
Department for Enterprise. I'm just trying to pin you down a bit to where you may fit.
Well, I can think of a few challenges that right now, interestingly, the Department of Enterprise have. For example, glamping. That's gone a bit which way at the moment. And that would be a key area with planning. You can see those kind of conflicts that I would like to think I could offer a really.
You sound very economy driven. That sort. I mean, that's so you see us needing to produce more, to make more, to pay the taxes, to make the schools.
Exactly, to take us forward. But you know, interestingly, I think one thing that I brought up yesterday at the hustings is that we've mentioned a lot. I've got an awful lot in there for young people, particularly regarding the schools, and about particularly issues such as the Chief Constable's mentioned about drugs in schools. That's something that we can't ignore. It's a really important issue going forward. But we didn't mention anything in the last 3 hustings about our senior generation. You know, maybe they're not at the back, you know, shouting to raise their concerns. But, you know, we've taken away post offices, we've taken away banks. It's as if we've decided that they're going to stay in isolation forever.
Well, the government's taken away the banks, the private sector's taken away the banks,
true.
haven't they?
Fair. But what I'm saying is that we are the national legislators, and we are the ones that have to find a way forward that is more inclusive.
So not completely voting online yet, and keeping things in the paper domain, and for the older people who aren't so tech savvy and things.
Yes, that's exactly. It's the digital thing that I'm saying is really. The census is a perfect example. I don't see how inclusive and caring in programme of government tallied with what we did during the census. It wasn't just a communication issue. For me, it's a fundamental way of thinking.
Just finish with, we always ask about your thoughts on who's going to run the place. You've been giving that some thought, I'm sure. So. You can give us a short list if you don't want to go for one name.
No, I would like to see obviously the experience. That's critical to me, and I believe in weighing things in terms of the right thing for the right time. And you're right, the economy is an issue, but I would like to see. I wouldn't be unhappy to see a female run. So,
which
but
means
it depends who's
available.
available.
I know, but that means it's someone that hasn't already got ministerial experience.
Probably, yeah, okay.
And we're talking about. Do you want to say who you think?
Well, not really. I mean, I mean,
there's only a couple that come to mind.
There
probably
are standing at the moment from MLC.
Yeah.
Well, you know, let's see who's available. I really do want to weigh judgment on.
And would you like to be like a minister yourself one day and really take very quickly? Yeah.
Thank you. Core of government. Core of government for me.